Good morning. It's 10 minutes past 7 o'clock and 68 degrees here at KENA. Wednesday, September the 11th. It's Patriots Day. I'm Mark Hobson. It's time for local news. Brought to you by Rich Mountain Community College, by the Beasleywood Funeral Home, and by the First National Bank. Banking the way it should be. As mentioned, it's Patriots Day today, a national day of service and remembrance. It occurs every September 11th and is designated in memory of the 2,977 killed in the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks. We spoke with community leaders, including Fire Chief John Puckett, Polk County Judge Brandon Ellison, Mena Mayor George McKee, and our own station manager Dwight Douglas about their memories about the 9/11 attacks.
I was at the fire station watching it all going down. Made me feel terrified for the people because the first plane hit and it was that much fire, I knew they were in trouble. And then when the other one crashed, I watched it on TV. When they crashed, I knew we was going to lose a bunch of firemen because firemen run in when everybody runs out. You know, and the sad part is the chiefs lost their lives because most of them was in the ground level giving directions. That's where their command post was. So the chiefs went too, but I just can't imagine my wife sitting there for hours wondering whether I'm alive or not. And there was no way to talk to them because firemen were busy trying to help whatever's left. They didn't know for hours who was in there or not. I don't want to ever see something like that again.
I was at my office. You know, I'd been up early already working and started getting news reports on the radio, and we turned the TV on at the office. And first we thought, like a lot of folks, that it was just an accident, a small plane, because they didn't know a whole lot about it. And then as more information came out, we seen that it was a possibility of a terrorist attack, and then second plane hit. And it's like one of those things that they won't forget, is etched in our mind. That like a lot of Americans, we probably just kind of have a moment of quietness to ourselves as we reflect back about that day and about the innocent people that lost their lives and the horrific ways that terrorists try to make their statements, very cowardly. And I just think we should always remember and know that this is possible. There'll be a price to pay for doing that to us. It's important we remember first responders and the officials and the folks that were there and the citizens that were there.
We were here at the radio station watching CNN when that happened. And of course, we just couldn't believe our eyes that it was happening on national television live. Made me sick to my stomach and just couldn't understand why it happened. You know, when CNN popped that picture right up there, that towers had been struck, and you sit there and watch it and you can't believe it. And then another airplane comes and hits the second tower. It's just like, is the world coming to an end? What's happening up there in New York City? Are we being attacked? We just didn't know what was going on. And, of course, it was just such a sinking feeling when you saw that happen, wondering about all those people in the towers that were losing their lives.
I was on a plane which was landing in Dallas, Texas, when I learned of the terrorist attack on the United States. I remember being in shock and having a heart-wrenching feeling that our world had changed forever. And what a cowardly act it was. I felt like this strike against our country on our own soil was also an attack of our Christian beliefs. I also knew that in the true spirit of freedom that Americans would pull together to face this tragic event with our heads held high, and we did. So that just tells the spirit of the American people. I'll tell you the feeling that I felt too was I had this obvious urge to want to be with my family.
Remember to fly your flags at half-staff today for Patriots Day. Polk County Sheriff Mike Godfrey has released a sheriff's log for last week. Melissa Riggs has that story.
On September 2nd, there was a report from a complainant on Polk 689 near Mena of an unauthorized person on their property. Arrested was Terry D. Sperling, 51, of Mena, on a charge of criminal trespass. There was a report from a Mena woman that her 13-year-old granddaughter and vehicle were missing. The juvenile and vehicle were later located. A juvenile citation was issued for disorderly conduct, and the female was released to the custody of a parent or guardian. There was a report from a Mena complainant of a custody issue with an ex-spouse. Officer advised that the issue was of a civil nature. There was a report from a complainant on Polk 136 near Cove of a person being threatened. Officers responded, and one of the parties agreed to leave the residence. Arrested was Donovan T. Hunt, 22, of Mena, on charges of possession of drug paraphernalia and possession of a controlled substance. On September 3rd, there was a report from a Hatfield woman of problems with her 14-year-old daughter, which led to the female being issued a juvenile citation for disorderly conduct. The female was released to the custody of a parent or guardian. September 4th, report from a complainant on Cardinal Lane near Mena of an unauthorized person in their residence, which led to the arrest of Lloyd D. Bolton, 43, of Mena, on a charge of criminal trespass. Arrested was Clifford G. Crossfield, 33, of Paragould, on a warrant for failure to appear. There was a report from a complainant on Polk 56 near the Nunley community of receiving a harassing text message. The information has been provided to the prosecuting attorney's office for further consideration. September 5th, there was a report from a complainant on Polk 199 near the Cherry Hill community of the theft of a lawnmower valued at $1,000. That investigation continues. There was a report from a complainant on Polk 37 near the Potter community that a neighbor's dog had killed his chickens, all valued at $48. The officer spoke with the dog's owner, who agreed to pay for the damages and deal with the dog issue. Report from a complainant on Polk 280 near Cove of a break-in and theft of electronics and household goods, all valued at $3,622. That investigation continues. There was a report from a Mena woman of her family being threatened. The information has been provided to the prosecuting attorney's office for further consideration. Arrested by an officer with the Grannis Police Department was Miranda R. Harris, 33, of Wick, on 2 warrants for failure to comply with a court order. Arrested was Kelly B. Davis, 50, of Mena, on a warrant for failure to comply reporting requirement. Arrested by an officer with the Grannis Police Department was Lacey E. Morrell, 25, of Wicks, on a warrant for failure to comply with a court order. Arrested was Kelly D. Thompson, 32, of Mena, on a charge of public intoxication. On September 6th, there was a report from a complainant on Highway 4 West near Cove of a person on their property that refused to leave. The officer escorted the subject to another residence. There was a report of an accident on Polk 63 near the Yawkeny community, which led to the arrest of Alan K. Rector, 38, of Mena, on a charge of possession of an instrument of crime. There was a report from a complainant on Polk 19 near Cove of an unauthorized person on their property causing damages to the property. The information has been provided to the prosecuting attorney's office for further consideration. There was a report from a walk-in complainant of being harassed by a neighbor. That information has been provided to the prosecuting attorney's office for further consideration. There was a report from a complainant on Polk 125 near the Rocky community of the theft of a deer feeder valued at $150. That investigation continues. There was a report from a complainant on Polk 710 near the Potter community of the theft of a firearm valued at $700. That investigation continues. On September 7th, there was a report from a complainant on Polk 402 near Cove of the theft of a heater, AC unit, and electronics, all valued at $4,299. That investigation continues. There was a report from a complainant on Polk 31 near Cove of a missing ATV that an individual was allegedly working on. That investigation continues. Arrested was Jennifer K. Pierce, 31, of Van Buren, on a body attachment warrant. There was a report from a Mena woman that her children are receiving unwanted text messages. That information has been provided to the prosecuting attorney's office for further consideration. There was a report of a domestic disturbance on Treasure Lane near the Akron community. One of the parties left the residence for the evening. September 8th, there was a report from the Polk County Detention Center of problems with an inmate. Information has been provided to the prosecuting attorney's office for further consideration. There was a report of a fight in the Hatfield area that led to the arrest of Lloyd T. Frederick, 40, of Hatfield, on charges of DWI, no liability insurance, and driving on a suspended driver's license. Megan R. Frederick, 23, of Hatfield, on a charge of assault in the 3rd degree, and Brian K. Metcalf, 44, of Hatfield, on a charge of public intoxication. There was a retraction for the sheriff's log for the week of July 29th through August 4th that was reported that Rebecca A. James, 27, of Mena, was arrested on a body attachment warrant. This entry was a mistake due to a typographical error. Miss James was not arrested, nor was she in this jurisdiction during that time frame. The sheriff's office would like to apologize for any inconveniences that this error may have caused. This is Melissa Riggs reporting for KENA News.
We'll be back with more news right after this.
Most of us plan ahead in life, such as education expenses, family vacations, or home insurance. What about burial insurance? Or pre-planning your burial arrangements? By pre-planning your funeral, you relieve your family of having to make important financial decisions during a period of stress and grief. Call a caring professional today at 394-1310. We will help you explore the different options until you find one that is right for you. Beasley Wood Funeral Home, serving you since 1928.
If you've been dreaming of owning a new automobile or boat, it's time to indulge yourself. Whether you want a car, truck, boat, RV, or ATV, listen to this loan special from First National Bank. Rates as low as 2.99% annual percentage rate for qualified buyers. With that competitive rate of 2.99% annual percentage rate and the simple application process, First National Bank will help you get on your way to fulfilling your dream of owning a new vehicle or boat. Whether you're purchasing from a dealer, purchasing from a private party, or buying out a lease, see First National Bank today and ask for the Auto Boat Loan Special. Repayment terms are available to fit almost any budget. Remember, that open road or open water awaits you. First National Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC. Restrictions apply. Annual percentage rate may increase due to fees at loan closing. First National Bank. Banking the way it should be.
Did you know that computer jobs are among the highest in demand and pay? You can start your career training for the computer industry at Rich Mountain Community College. You can obtain your associate's degree and enter the workforce or transfer to a four-year institution to finish your bachelor's. We also offer a variety of computer certificates that will help enrich your skills for any job. Financial aid is available for those who qualify. Check out our programs on rmcc.edu. Stop by our campus or give us a call at 479-394-RMCC. In other news today, the Mena City Council met last night. Dwight Douglas has the story.
The meeting opened with committee reports. The airport manager, Will Robbins, said collections were good at the normal level, and crews had just completed painting of the city's hangar. Frank Mead, the city building inspector, reported the best month this year for new construction. And Fire Chief John Puckett said they answered 19 calls for service last month. Police Chief Jimmy Dosser said the department's load was leveling off since school began. And he said he would continue to accept applications for the vacant slot for a full-time officer in the department. Park Superintendent Jerry McKee said mowing has slowed down, and the crews are preparing for the end-of-summer projects in the city parks. Mayor George McKee said the annual street overlay project would begin Tuesday. We'll have further details in later newscasts. Dwight Douglas reporting for Mena Radio News.
In a weekend packed with football upsets, Christy Keener wins $100 cash in Week 1 of the Pigskin Pick'em contest. Christy only missed 2 games. All other entries in Week 1 missed 3 or more. So congratulations to Christy Keener. Week 2 play sheets are available at participating sponsors, including 71 Diesel Repair, Mena Tire Company, the Union Bank, the Branding Iron, Tim's Yamaha, and Edward Jones. Pick your winners, including the tiebreaker, and return the play sheet to Mena Radio by noon on Friday. You can get more info on the Mena Radio Facebook page or menaradio.com. Well, as most of us remember, Wildlife Officer Joel Campora, formerly of Mena, drowned while assisting victims in a flash flood recently. Friends of Joel Campora might be interested to know that the Arkansas Bear and Buck Journal has dedicated its August issue as the Joel Campora Memorial issue. Here is Clay Newcomb with details.
The August issue of the Arkansas Bear and Buck Journal, we made it the Joel Campora Memorial issue. Got a nice article about Joel in there. Talks about his family and his history and kind of who he was. You know, we talked with Rebecca, did an interview with her. We really wanted to make it something that would be valuable to the family and his. We had a connection with him. I went to school with Joel, but more than that, Joel was a wildlife officer. From what I understand from the professionals in his field, he was the epitome of what a wildlife officer should have been, and was a great guy. A couple of ways to get a copy of the August Bear and Buck Journal. It's actually not even in Walmart yet, but will be this week. It will be in the sporting goods section of the Walmart. The way that we'd like to see people do it is they could subscribe to our magazine. $12, take $12 on our website, arbear.org.
Also, the September-October issue of Arkansas Wildlife, which is a publication of the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, will have an article about Joel and one that Joel wrote himself. You can visit the website agfc.com to order a copy. Mena volleyball teams were in action yesterday at Fountain Lake. The Mena Junior High beat Fountain Lake 2-0. The Junior Varsity beat Fountain Lake 2-0, and the Senior High from Mena defeated Fountain Lake 3-0. Now for today's obituaries. J.A. Shorty Winfield, age 92, formerly of Cove, passed away September 5th. Survivors include 3 daughters, Joy Fulton and husband Joe, Emily Plumley and husband George, and Janice Parsons and husband James, 2 sons, Jim Winfield and wife Shannon, and Tim Winfield, a brother, Junior Winfield, and a sister, Juanita Krebs, and husband Charles of Hatfield. Graveside services are at 10 a.m. today at Memorial Heights Cemetery in La Forest, Texas. Military honors by the U.S. Navy. Sheila Louise Godwin, age 38, of Wenatchee, formerly of Mena, passed away on Monday. She is survived by her sons, Zachary Godwin, Marcus Godwin of Mena, her daughters Alyssa Godwin and Ashlyn Godwin, her mother Brenda Blackwood of Mena, and her sister Shelley Everett of Mena. Graveside services are Thursday at 10 a.m. at the Pleasant Grove Cemetery in Cove under the direction of the Beasley Wood Funeral Home. Pamela Sisk Wells, age 60, of Mena, passed away on Sunday, September 1st. A memorial service will be Saturday at 1 p.m. in the Beasley Wood Funeral Home Chapel. John Al Anglin, age 87, of Smithfield, passed away Sunday. He is survived by 2 sons and daughters-in-law, Vic and Angela Anglin of Smithfield, and John and Pamela Anglin, 3 daughters, Davy Ann Montgomery, Laura Foster, and Patience Ayers. A memorial service will be Saturday at 2 p.m. at the First Baptist Church in Hatfield. Cremation was entrusted to the Bowser Family Funeral Home in Mena. Becky Young, age 60, of Mena, passed away on Saturday. She is survived by her son, Chad Young, her daughters, Andrea Brown, Kara Brown, and Ginger Brown, her brother, Larry Dilbeck, her sister, Gwen Dilbeck of Mena, and her mother, Ruth Dilbeck of Mena. The family will have a private service at a later time. Arrangements are under the direction of the Beasley Wood Funeral Home.